Now at 9, 2 hospitals were destroyed in Ukraine. Find out who caused the blast.
And the United States is pressuring Iran amidst discussions. Learn why the president is rushing a nuclear deal.
Next, the IRS is in talks to reveal private documents. Learn what this could mean for American taxpayers.
Then, American Airlines pilots are facing tighter restrictions. See why they are under warning.
And I'm tracking the details on those severe storms making their way through our viewing area. NewsLink Indiana starts now.
Local news about local people, live from Ball State Unified Media. You're watching NewsLink Indiana.
Good evening and thanks for being with us tonight. I'm Andy Zelaya.
And I'm Noah Lida.
Our viewing area is expected to have a threat of severe weather.
Assistant Chief Weather Forecaster Joe Sawicki has a look at the current threat.
Thanks, Andy and Noah. Yes, we have an eye on these storms making their way through our viewing area right now. A severe thunderstorm warning just expired for Madison County, but that doesn't mean we need to take our eye off these storms as they make their way through. As you can see, we're right in the middle of this line currently going through, and this is part of this severe threat that we saw today. Currently, we are in the slight risk in the Storm Prediction Center outlook, and that is going to go until around 10-11 p.m. tonight, so certainly stay weather aware as we go throughout the night. Any threats can include heavy rain, winds, hail, and of course an isolated tornado, so keep your eye out and just for any potential weather hazards. We're also tracking this cold that's going to be coming with these storms. You can see a steep gradient here in Illinois. This cold is going to make its way into our viewing area later on tomorrow. But as we take a look at the Cooper Science Skycam, what am I tracking for my full weather? I'm tracking these thunderstorms tonight, freezing wind chills, and high wind gusts on my full weather forecast.
Thank you so much, Joe. Russia targeted a medical facility in Ukraine's Sumy region earlier today with a series of 7 drone strikes, according to the country's state emergency service.
2 Russian drones initially struck the medical facility, resulting in the movement of all patients and staff into the building's shelter.
During the evacuation, 5 further Russian drones struck the facility, trapping 22 patients inside the shelter, which was partially destroyed. In a separate drone strike yesterday evening, Russia carried out a direct hit on another Ukrainian hospital in the same region. A total of 147 patients were evacuated from the hospital, adding that no one was injured.
President Donald Trump says Iran has a 2-month deadline to reach a new nuclear deal. The directive comes as Trump said he would like to reach a deal to gain more control over Iran's nuclear capabilities. It is unclear how the U.S. would respond if Iran fails to enter direct talks about its nuclear program. However, senior U.S. officials have not ruled out potential military action.
The Trump administration confirms the IRS is actively discussing turning over taxpayer data to the Department of Homeland Security. The confirmation came in federal court in D.C. today. Sharing the highly confidential IRS taxpayer data could lead to deportations of immigrants without documentation. The agency is required to keep their private information confidential, except for very specific circumstances detailed in the tax code. 2 immigrant rights groups have filed a lawsuit. They want to block the Trump administration from turning over this data to immigration authorities.
Last week, the union representing American Airlines pilots sternly warned members not to fly over restricted areas in Washington. It came after Secret Service agents visited one captain, quote, to interrogate him, end quote. After he breached the airspace, the Allied Pilots Association's Safety Committee said despite extensive training and outreach, incursions through restricted areas near the White House continue to happen. In a memo, pilots were warned, quote, your career is at risk. Flight paths around the airport also drew scrutiny after a deadly collision in January between an American Airlines regional jet and military helicopter.
In the 2018-2019 school year, Muncie Community Schools had only 50 students enrolled in pre-K. That number has grown to 246 this school year through a strategic plan with Muncie Community Schools. NewsLink Indiana's Kamara Munn attended a listen-learn session to get more insight on the full plan.
Muncie Community Schools has implemented many new initiatives for the betterment of the Muncie educational system through their 5-year strategic plan. In collaboration with Ball State, MCS has seen much progress in this plan, such as improvement in enrollment, better training programs for educators, and an overall step forward in state test scores and literacy with students. For community and family engagement, a listen and learn session was held in 2019 just at the brink of COVID. causing the sessions to take a pause. The information shared during that session moved Dr. Chuck Reynolds, CEO and Director of Public Education.
We heard from our parents that a high-quality preschool was important. They wanted to have engagement into our schools. They wanted to have the best high-quality educators and administrators in the building. So we heard those things and we focused our efforts on improving those things.
The session covers a range of accomplishments, including collecting over $5 million in grants, helping develop things like the new football stadium at Muncie Central High School. There are 5 pillars of the plan that focus on many aspects of academics and the experiences of students and their families. Chief Communications Officer Andy Klotz highlights how the improvement of MCS is greatly impacted by the last pillar.
Another pillar of our 5-year plan is building our family engagement. And that is something we are always looking to do. It's something you can always improve on, no matter what district you're in. And we want to continue to get feedback and input from the community.
As the 5-year plan is coming to an end, Dr. Reynolds plans to bridge the gap between families and schools through family navigators, surveys, and parent committees. In Muncie, Kamara Munn, NewsLink, Indiana.
There are 2 more Listen and Learn sessions taking place this spring. There will be a session tomorrow evening at Southside Middle School between 6 and 7 p.m.
Delaware County's Farm Fest made its return to the fairgrounds. NewsLink Indiana's Lauren Burris dug deeper to find out how the festival went hand in hand with supporting area businesses and the farming community.
From fairgrounds to the fields, Delaware County's Farm Festival serves as a timely reminder that farming season is just around the corner. But seeds aren't the only thing being planted here in Muncie. The festival hopes to plant success for kids and adults alike, with 2 days of down on the farm excitement. According to the Indiana State Department of Agriculture, Indiana is the 9th largest farming state in the nation, making agricultural education a key influence on Hoosiers. The free 2-day event featured a sheep shearing presentation from Gary Wilcox. People also had the chance to milk cows. In another building, local businesses sold festival-related items at their booths. A local farmer and his father have been dedicated volunteers at the event since it started in 1980, with his father showcasing horse-drawn farming equipment at the Delaware County Courthouse, its original location.
1979, a group of local farmers got together and decided that they needed to do something to try to help educate the non-farm families, and because of growing up on the farm, wanted to share that experience with others.
The co-chairman of the Education Committee provided teacher bags with her daughter. The bags were packed with donated items from various agricultural Indiana organizations for teachers to review with students later.
So we're just trying to give them a little more feel of where their food comes from, the activities there is involved, the equipment used, and that kind of thing. So, I mean, if you eat, you might be interested in coming out and seeing what's going on.
On Tuesday, an auction took place in Heartland Hall, where local businesses donated items for bidding. All proceeds from the auction will help ensure the festival continues to thrive for years to come. As the festival wraps up, it's clear that volunteers have planted knowledge in all things farming and agriculture. In Muncie, Lauren Burris, NewsLink, Indiana.
It also encourages the next generation of farming advocates, offering 2 $500 scholarships with preference to those studying agriculture. To apply, visit farmfestival.org.
Coming up, see one lucky driver's close call on the highway.
And find out what's been affecting some work in New Mexico after the break.
Hey, boss. Okay?
I said I'm fine.
Me the bed, see you in the morning with the frosted Superman, but it wasn't on it, and we lost it.
You can talk to me.
It's been really hard for me.
Hey there, Hoosiers. Are you ready to give your child a head start on their future? Indiana 529 savings plans are a simple way to save for their education. Plus, there are some great tax benefits. The best part? It's not just for college. Indiana 529 can be used for tech schools, trade programs, apprenticeships, and more. Start with just $10 a month at myindiana529.com to help them reach their dreams.
I've always loved space and football. Growing up, some people told me I had to choose. But here's the deal. You can be great at more than one thing. And getting involved in STEM opens up your world to a universe of opportunities in life.
This is my time.
Get inspired and get involved today. There are STEM programs and science centers available in your community, so be sure to check out spaceforall.us to learn more and get started.
This is my time. There ain't no doubt in my mind.
Find your place in space.
This is my time.
Space for All.
Julie was always a voracious reader. She'd carry 2 novels on an airplane because she'd read one on a 3-4 hour ride. And at some point, I began to notice that she would read a page and couldn't remember what she had just read, and she'd have to go back and read it again.
I don't remember much these days after I read, but less does for me, and I love it.
Welcome back. With spring heading into full swing, so are harsh thunderstorms. Severe storms brought plenty of lightning to the southeast over the weekend, but for one highway driver, it was way too close for comfort. Take a look at the terrifying moment a driver in Atlanta dodged a powerful lightning strike. A slow-mo replay shows bolts of lightning pounding the interstate, just as the driver swerves to avoid them. The southeast saw plenty of severe weather recently, and Atlanta was littered with stunning lightning strikes, caught on various cameras across the city. But this close encounter was a little too close for comfort.
Strong winds have been on the move across New Mexico. A strong storm system has hit Albuquerque, New Mexico. With it, there has been heavy dust carried by the wind, which has led to poor working conditions outdoors and a decreased travel visibility. The dust has increased dryness and alerted possible wildfire warnings.
The past decade has been the hottest on record, and last year was the hottest of all in nearly 200 years of record keeping. A report from the World Meteorological Organization shows 2024 was the first year our planet's surface was 1.5 degrees Celsius warmer than its average from 1850 to 1900. The Secretary General of the WMO said in a statement, quote, "It is a wake-up call that we are increasing the risk to our lives, economies, and to the planet," end quote. The World Meteorological Organization is a United Nations agency and has more than 100 member countries, including the United States.
Another storm system is affecting millions of people across the Midwest and the Great Plains, placing some states under a blizzard watch and others at risk of wildfires. A band from southwestern Kansas up to central Wisconsin is expected to see as little as 2 inches or up to a foot of snow. Combined with high winds, forecasters warned of whiteout conditions. However, where it is not snowing, there are still very strong winds. That, combined with dry conditions from Texas and Oklahoma all the way up through Arkansas and central Missouri, bring the potential for wildfires.
These storms are going to bring some cold with it, but just how cold are we going to get? Find out after the break.
People want to define Gen Z, but that's our job.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital. I put out a forest fire. I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives and led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time. While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
Did you know that 9 out of 10 Americans are sick of the divisions in our country? But there's one small step we can take to remember that we're still connected. All over America, strangers with different political views are coming together to talk about their lives, not politics, and discovering they actually have a lot in common. Because even if we don't see eye to eye, we can still talk heart to heart. So let's talk for a change. Learn more at takeonesmallstep.org.
Emma, did you hear?
Todd's in the hospital.
Who's Todd? He got a collapsed lung from vaping. He thought it was cool.
Not cool.
Promise you won't vape, Emma. It can lead to a lifelong addiction, and we can't be friends if your lungs collapse.
Bogus.
Wacky sitcom teens aren't the best people to talk to your kid about vaping.
Hey, you got a minute?
You are. Start the conversation with your child about vaping today.
Welcome back. Like, oh my goodness, the crazy weather that we're having right now.
It's Indiana, you know, one minute it could be sunshine and then the next minute it could just be thunderstorms, so.
Can you tell us more about that, Joe?
Absolutely. So as we take a look at the Storm Prediction Center severe weather outlook, you can see that we are in a slight risk in our viewing area. And as I zoom into our viewing areas, you can just get a better look at that. All of our counties are in that 2 out of 5 level Storm Prediction Center risk. Now, what does that mean? That means chance of heavy rain, winds, hail, and of course an isolated tornado, which we are tracking right now. The good news is compared to where we were earlier today, our chances have gone down, at least for here in Muncie. Our southern area is still in that 5% of a tornado, but overall we have decreased from where we were a couple hours ago. And I'm going to go back out wide, and you can see here just 2% throughout much of Indiana, of course at 5% a little farther down south. But as the storms make their way through our area, we are slowly getting better as we go throughout. Looking at the radar right now, these storms, like I keep mentioning, are going through. And as I zoom in, we're seeing some heavy rain bands with some of these storms, both to our north and to our south, really just affecting all of our counties. But as you take a look, you're going to see these storms are going to be making their way out by around 10 p.m. into 11, and they're going to be clear as we go overnight. But with these cool temperatures coming into effect, we are going to be seeing a little bit of cloud cover tomorrow, and if you even see up there, some snow in some areas, which is certainly unbelievable for me in this time of mid-March. But another thing we're going to be seeing is those high winds. As you can see, by midnight it's going to be 31-mile-per-hour gusts here in Muncie, and then we're going to only increase as we go into tomorrow as well. 36 mile per hour in Muncie, 36 in Marion. So definitely don't try to do your hair tomorrow, as that wind is just going to blow it around all day, and with that wind comes those cooler temperatures. But the good news is that by Friday, those winds are going to taper off. Now, I keep talking about these temperatures. Right now, they're pretty pleasant outside. 65 here in Muncie, 61 in Indianapolis, and 55 in Lafayette. That gradient is going on throughout the state, and as I zoom into our hometown temperatures, 65 here in Muncie, 62 in Anderson. You can definitely see that in 24-hour temperature change. All of this blue to our west, only 3 degrees cooler here in Muncie, but that cold is making its way towards us. Tonight, 37 degrees with those thunderstorms in the morning, winds blowing southwest at 15 miles per hour, gusting up to 40. Tomorrow, we are going to be seeing rain in the morning, 43, 40, and then as we get to 5 p.m., 39 degrees, those winds again breezy, anywhere from 15 to 20 miles per hour throughout the day. Now, here's the other big story tonight, those wind chills like I keep talking about. Look at this, 9 a.m., 25 degrees. You're going to have to pull that winter coat back out, and this is not certainly what I was expecting or anyone else. But the good news is it's only a brief period of time. It's going to be 50 degrees. Wind chills by Friday. Now, as we get into the 7-day forecast, we are going to warm back up as we go into the weekend. 53 on Friday, 48 on Saturday. Those rain chances do return on Sunday, 51, before we settle into the mid-40s next week. So a wild week of weather coming up. So much going on.
Oh my goodness. I was just enjoying the nice, cool day with the wind blowing in my face, and now I got to pull out my winter jacket tomorrow?
Yeah.
How is it to get a 74 degrees in here?
I know. I mean, that's Indiana for you. One day it's just really warm, and then the next day it's cold. There's never any balance.
Right, right. Thank you so much, Joe.
Of course.
There's lots more to get to on NewsLink Indiana. Emma Deaton has a preview of sports.
Thanks, Andy and Noah. One Ball State squad looks to start their square dance, while another sees a 3-home-run day against Valpo in a slugfest. Find out how a national collegiate school violates an executive order and the consequences to follow. All this and more next in sports. Be right there.
Wait. Use the shovel and bucket of water, remember? Drown, stir, drown, feel. Then make sure it's cool.
Where'd you learn that?
SmokeyBear.com. Brushed up on some tips before we left. Don't want to start a wildfire, right?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Students who can read by the end of 3rd grade are 35% more likely to graduate. I'm Dr. Katie Jenner, Indiana Secretary of Education, here to tell you how reading 30 minutes per day can improve the trajectory of a child's life. Whether you're reading with your child or they are reading independently, this is one of the most important things you can do to help them succeed. So this school year, please encourage your child to continue reading. It's a small habit that makes a big difference.
Food isn't just fuel to live, it's fuel to grow. My family relied on public assistance to help provide meals for us. These meals fueled my involvement in theater and the arts as a child, which fostered my love for acting. The Feeding America network of food banks helps millions of people put food on the table. When people are fed, futures are nourished. Join the movement to end hunger, and together we can open endless possibilities for people to thrive. Visit feedingamerica.org/actnow.
At night, NewsLink Indiana brings you the news before you go to bed.
But Friday mornings, you're waking up with Cardinal Weather, bringing you up to speed on the day's top stories.
And giving you up-to-the-minute conditions from the Ball State Weather Center.
And of course, lots of fun.
I gave mine personality. Look, it's got eyebrows.
Ooh, my lucky glove didn't even work.
But I also am excited for those fall temperatures.
Start your Friday mornings with Cardinal Weather, live on the Cardinal Weather Facebook page.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Emma Deaton with sports. Following their selection to the NCAA tournament, the Ball State women's basketball team departed for the big dance this afternoon. Fans gathered outside Worthen Arena to send off cards to Waco, Texas, where they will face the number 5 seed Ole Miss Rebels. The squad was also greeted with handmade signs from the flight crew on the plane. Tip-off for the first round game is set for 6 p.m. on Friday. We will have Thursday coverage of the team live on NewsLink Indiana, on the NewsLink Indiana socials and ballstatedaily.com. From the court to the grass, Ball State men's baseball swung away to victory against their in-state rival Valparaiso. NewsLink Indiana's Ethan Kelso heads to the field for more.
Ball State baseball has not been able to play against their in-state rival Valparaiso at home for nearly 6 years. With transfers and COVID-19, a majority of the Cardinals have never faced this in-state rival at home. This includes senior Alex Richter.
It was great to be home. It's good to see old faces again since I wasn't able to get them at my previous school.
With an array of circumstances preventing the Cardinals from hosting the Beacons, Ricker voices his excitement on playing Valpo at home for his very first time. Rickers went 1 for 5, including a 2-run single and a couple of outs on third base. Ricker notes overcoming his early struggles in the game.
Flaring everything out to left, not getting my barrel to it. Just at the end of the game, stayed with my approach, line drive to right, and got that big hit later on in the game.
Even though Alex Ricker did not know the entire team at Valpo, he only knew one person on the roster because both of them played high school together.
Taking things to the National College 8 scene, the Trump administration says it has paused $175 million in federal funding to the University of Pennsylvania over transgender athlete policies. The administration claims the school violated an executive order barring transgender women from competing in women's sports. In a statement Wednesday, the university said it was aware of the story but hadn't yet gotten any official notification or any details about such a move. UPenn said it has always followed NCAA and Ivy League policies on student participation on athletic teams and is in full compliance with regulations. Now, we left there on a more of a sad note, but our very own Max Robinson, sports director, is going to go watch the women's basketball team dance on Friday in Waco, Texas.
Oh, how exciting!
That is exciting. I really love Texas. Honestly, a little bit jealous.
Jealous too.
And not just because of the weather, but also getting to see the women's basketball team.
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
That's a big deal for him, for sure.
Oh, I can't wait to see it live, and I hope there's going to be some good coverage. I'm rooting for the team.
Me too.
Oh my goodness.
I'm just excited to see it in general when it fully comes out. I think it'll be a great time.
Well, thank you so much, Emma. Coming up, see how Martha Stewart is reaching new heights.
And we have one final look at your weather now.
Yarr! All I wanted was my treasure, and I wound up with a lawsuit from my neighbors. And a belly full of regret.
Thanks, Salty Pete. What a powerful dig story. Okay, great class, everybody. Before we go, let's stand and say the safe digging pledge. Shovels don't know right from wrong, but I do. And I'll always contact Indiana 811 at least 2 working days before digging. It's the only way to dig.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? My. Oh.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back. Martha Stewart is at it again, releasing her 101st book. Martha Stewart's gardening handbook, The Essential Guide to Designing, Planting, and Growing, hit store shelves yesterday. While the homemaking expert is no stranger to publishing books, this is her first book in 30 years that centers around gardening. It offers tips for all levels of gardeners, from beginners to experts. The gardening handbook is available at major retailers like Amazon, Walmart, and Target.
The next time you fly into Nashville, you could be landing at Dolly Parton International Airport. At least, that's the idea behind a grassroots effort to rename the airport in her honor. Their push came shortly after a bill was introduced in the state legislature to rename the airport after President Donald Trump. That measure ended up being removed from consideration last month and also failed in a House committee yesterday. The people behind the petition say the country music legend represents the best of Tennessee and that it is fitting the airport should carry her name.
I mean, oh my goodness, Martha, Dolly.
I mean, legends, literal legends, and an airport after Dolly would just be perfect because she literally is the embodiment of Tennessee. I mean, Dolly World, everything going on with her right now, her Broadway show coming out.
I might honestly get Martha's gardening book because I really like gardening.
I know, and she's released plenty of cookbooks as well, so I know she knows how to read.
Well, hey Joe, can you tell us a little bit more about weather?
Yeah, so let's taking a look at our 7-day forecast. As you can see, that rain-snow mix is going to be in our way tomorrow, and we are going to become sunny for the weekend, Friday and Saturday, before that rain does come back on Sunday. 80% chance with a high of 51 degrees. We are going to settle into those 40s as we go into next week when that sun returns, but those lows are going to be below freezing. So definitely keep that winter coat handy as we go throughout the week ahead.
I mean,
once again, dampering the mood with the weather. Talk about how cold it's going to be. Are you kidding?
As soon as you get used to those 70s, then you have to go right back to the 30s, and you just get so confused with your wardrobe.
I mean, as I've said before, Indiana has 12 seasons, not 4. Well,
right.
Yeah,
it's my fault that I think that once we get to March, we're already to summer, and that's me putting that thought out there. I need to wait till we get to May to even start thinking about warm weather because I can't assume.
And then June and July is just scorching hot. There's no in between.
There's absolutely none.
Yeah, there's like maybe 1 week of perfect weather in there, and then that's all you can do.
It's a myth here. It's a myth. We never see it, the perfect weather.
Well, thank you so much, Joe.
Of course.
That's all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to tune in tomorrow night at 9, streaming live on the NewsLink Indiana Facebook page, YouTube channel, and WCRD 91.3.
And for news anytime, anywhere, just go to ballstatedaily.com. Have a great night and stay safe.